Okay, but really though, have you ever scrolled through like a ton of memes about a show
Yeah.
and you think like, man, I wish I had the time to watch that.
Yeah.
Because like life is so busy, but everyone is talking about it and you're just like, ugh, I wish I could watch that show.
Right.
So we're going to dive into this show that has been making waves. And it's been making waves for all the right reasons.
Mhm.
So this show, it's been really interesting because it landed at a time when, I feel like the world really needed a little sunshine.
Yeah.
And if you think back to when it premiered, it was kind of like stepping into a parallel universe where kindness wins.
It really was, and it was so needed, especially during that particular time.
Exactly.
And it's also just a really fun premise.
Yeah.
Like, it's so out there. It's like, okay, how is
Yeah.
this going to work?
Describe the premise, yeah.
So basically, you have this American football coach, and he is brought over to coach in the English Premier League.
An English football soccer team.
A soccer team.
Football soccer. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our American listeners, we know what's up.
Yes.
So he's coaching the soccer team. And you would think this is a recipe for disaster.
It should be a recipe for disaster.
But there's a twist.
Huge twist.
What is the twist?
The twist is that the owner of the team actually wants him to fail.
Oh, I see.
This is all part of her revenge plot against her ex-husband, who is obsessed with this particular club.
So not only is he like dealing with these players who are, let's just say, less than enthusiastic, he's also dealing with all this drama off the field that he is not aware of.
And he's just so positive.
He's so positive.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Like, is this guy for real?
Right.
But it's not just this surface level cheer,
Yeah.
It's this genuine belief in people. And it starts to rub off on everyone around him.
It really does.
It's infectious.
So infectious.
You can't help but smile along with him.
You really can.
Even when he's making, the classic fish out of water blunders.
Oh, yeah.
Like calling the Has quarters.
Like, what are you talking about, man?
I love it, though.
Yeah.
Or mistaking sparkling water for regular water.
Oh, my gosh. So funny.
But it's great. Those moments are hilarious.
Yeah.
But they also serve a purpose.
They do, yeah.
What's the purpose?
I think they highlight those cultural differences that he is navigating.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a completely unfamiliar world.
Absolutely.
Have you ever felt like a fish out of water trying to fit in somewhere new?
Oh, 100%. It can be so awkward
Yeah.
and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But there's also something kind of endearing about it.
Yeah.
Especially when someone approaches it with as much good humor as he does.
Right. He just rolls with the punches.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of endearing, we can't forget about the boss lady.
The boss lady.
She starts off as this, like, ice queen.
Yeah.
She's scheming.
She's plotting.
Plotting it.
Like, remember that scene when she's, like,
And
ordering all these, like, crazy extravagant floral arrangements?
just a spider egg.
Just the spider eggs. Yeah. Like, you can tell she's hurting. And she's lashing out.
And that's what I think makes her transformation throughout the season. One of the most satisfying parts.
Oh, absolutely.
Because as she gets to know the coach and she sees how his kindness impacts the team, those icy walls start to crumble.
They really do.
You see those glimpses of vulnerability. And you realize that beneath all that armor, she's just a woman trying to heal from heartbreak. It makes you wonder, is she really a villain?
Right.
Or is she just someone who's been deeply hurt and hasn't found a healthy way to cope?
Yeah, maybe she just doesn't know how.
Yeah.
Like, it's so relatable.
And it's not just her.
No.
Every character, from the star players to the seemingly minor ones, gets a chance to shine, to show their flaws and their growth.
I love that.
Like Roy Kent, the veteran player, who is wrestling with age and the fear of becoming irrelevant.
Oh, yeah.
Puts up this tough guy front.
Total tough guy.
But underneath, you see the insecurities.
Yeah.
The vulnerability of a man facing the end of an era.
It's kind of like, when you see an older dog and they're not as spry as they used to be. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
You still love them.
And his story really resonated with me. It taps into those anxieties about aging, about staying relevant in a world that often values youth and novelty over experience, and the way he grapples with those anxieties. His journey from gruff cynicism to grudging respect for the coach, it's humorous.
And heartwarming.
It really is. It's like watching their tough outer shell slowly crack open to reveal the soft, gooey center.
I love that. And then there's Jamie Tart.
Oh, Jamie Tart.
Young hot shot. He's all talent and ego, strutting around like he owns the field. And initially you're just like,
Oh,
Dude, humility is a thing.
Yeah.
But as the season progresses, you start to see these cracks in his arrogance.
I think that's what's so interesting about Jamie, is that his bravado is clearly a mask for these deeper insecurities.
Totally.
Remember that episode where we get a glimpse into his childhood
Yeah.
and his really difficult relationship with his father?
Oh, it makes you understand why he's so desperate for approval and why he needs to constantly prove himself. Like, you start to see him not as a cocky kid, but as this young man who's been conditioned to believe his worth is tied to his performance.
And it makes you empathize with him, even when he's being a total jerk.
It really does.
It's a testament to this show's commitment to exploring the complexities of its characters, even those who initially seem like one-dimensional stereotypes. There are no easy answers, no clear-cut heroes or villains.
It's real life.
Everyone is grappling with something.
Yeah.
And it's those struggles, those moments of vulnerability that make them feel so real,
Yeah.
so human.
They're human.
It's like looking into a mirror and seeing reflections of our own struggles, our own insecurities.
It's true.
And it's comforting, in a way, to know that we're not alone in those struggles, that even the seemingly perfect people on screen are battling their own demons.
Not have them.
And it's in those shared vulnerabilities that the characters find connection. They start to build relationships that go beyond the surface level.
It's so true.
We see unlikely friendships blossom, rivalries soften,
Yeah.
and a sense of community emerge from the most unexpected places.
Which is kind of the beauty of it all, isn't it?
It is. It's like watching a puzzle come together, with each piece representing a different character, a different perspective. And as those pieces connect, you start to see the bigger picture. The beauty of a team that's more than just a collection of individuals, but a true family,
Oh.
supporting each other through thick and thin.
I love that. That's beautiful.
It is.
And it's not just about the players evolving. Think about the relationship between the coach and the owner, Rebecca.
Oh, yeah.
It starts out so adversarial, but then there's this gradual shift. It's almost like a dance between two people who are really wary of getting too close.
Totally. At first, you see her as this ice queen who's just determined to sabotage him at every turn. But there were these little cracks in her facade, these little moments where her humanity peeks through.
Yeah.
Like, remember that scene where she brings him those homemade biscuits?
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Even though she's secretly plotting against him?
I know. And that scene is so telling because on the surface, it's a simple act of kindness. But you look deeper, and it suggests this inner conflict within her.
Yeah.
A part of her is drawn to his genuineness, but at the same time, she's trying to maintain her distance.
It's like she's battling with herself,
Totally.
trying to figure out, how to reconcile this desire for revenge
Yeah.
with this newfound sense of connection.
It really is.
And their scenes together are always electric.
They are, yeah.
There's this undeniable chemistry, this push and pull dynamic that just keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
You're never quite sure if they're going to end up at each other's throats, or, well, somewhere a little more romantic.
It's a slow burn, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so compelling,
Oh, totally.
You see these two guarded individuals slowly letting down their walls, revealing these vulnerabilities to each other.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the power of human connection and the idea that even the most wounded hearts can find solace in the most unexpected places.
Yeah. And speaking of unexpected connections, the show is full of them.
Oh, it really is.
It's like everyone is orbiting each other, bumping into each other in ways that lead to friendships, romances, and even rivalries that morph into something more complex.
It's like this big social experiment where you take this group of people from totally different backgrounds
Right?
with different personalities and different motivations,
Yeah.
and you throw them together in this high-pressure environment. And what emerges is this beautiful, messy tapestry of human interaction.
And one of the things I love most about the show is it doesn't shy away from the messiness.
It really doesn't.
These aren't cookie-cutter characters with predictable storylines.
Right.
They make mistakes, they hurt each other, they have moments of doubt and insecurity. But it's those imperfections that make them feel so real.
Absolutely. So human.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments of vulnerability that they find that common ground and they start to build empathy for each other.
Yeah.
Like, remember when Roy Kent, the tough as nails veteran, opens up to the team about his anxiety and his fears of aging and irrelevance.
I do that scene in the locker room where he's trying to explain how he's feeling, and he gets all choked up.
Yeah.
He just blurts out, "I'm a goldfish."
I know. It's hilarious, but it's also so heartbreaking.
It really is.
You see this tough guy, this icon of masculinity stripped bare, revealing his deepest fears. And the way the team responds with compassion and understanding, oh, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message about the importance of vulnerability, about letting down our guards and allowing ourselves to be seen, flaws and all.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments of shared vulnerability that true connection is forged and genuine relationships are built.
And the show does such a brilliant job of weaving humor into those serious moments, It's never heavy-handed, it's never preachy.
No. It's just this perfect balance of heart and humor that keeps you engaged, that makes you laugh one minute and cry the next.
And it's that humor that makes those deeper messages so palatable.
Yeah.
It's like a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
Helps the medicine go down, right?
It does.
Because, let's be honest, the show is tackling some pretty weighty themes.
Yeah, it is.
Grief, loss,
yeah,
redemption, the search for purpose and belonging.
Big stuff.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But it does so in a way that feels accessible.
Yeah.
Even comforting.
It does. It's like a warm hug on a cold day. It's like this little reminder that even in the midst of life's challenges, there's always hope, and there's always the possibility of connection and joy.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really sets this show apart is its unwavering belief in the power of kindness.
Yeah.
It's not just this feel-good sentiment, It's presented as a deliberate choice, a way of being in the world that can have this ripple effect, transforming not just individuals, but entire communities.
Right, like his whole philosophy of be a goldfish.
It's such a simple idea.
Yeah.
But it's so profound.
It really is.
It's about letting go of the past.
Yeah.
Not dwelling on our mistakes or holding on to grudges. It's about choosing to live in the present moment with an open heart and a willingness to see the good in others.
It's almost a radical notion in a world that is so obsessed with cynicism and negativity.
Totally.
But the show really does make a compelling case for kindness as this force for positive change, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
And it's not just about being nice to people who are nice to you.
No.
It's about extending that kindness to those who may not deserve it. To those who've hurt you or disappointed you.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles.
Yeah.
And sometimes a little bit of compassion can go a long way.
Like, think about when the coach reaches out to Jamie Tart. The player who's been nothing but arrogant and disrespectful. But he sees the potential in him. He sees that good heart buried beneath all those layers of bravado. And instead of just writing him off, he challenges him to be better, to be a more compassionate and empathetic person.
Yeah, and it's amazing to watch Jamie's transformation throughout the season. Because he starts out as this cocky kid who only cares about himself and his own glory.
Right.
But through the coach's guidance, he starts to understand the importance of teamwork, of putting the needs of the group above his own ego.
It's a beautiful example of how mentorship and genuine care can have this transformative effect on someone's life.
Totally.
It shows that even the most hardened hearts can be softened by compassion and by the belief that they're capable of change.
And it's not just about individual transformation, right? It's about the power of a community to heal and uplift its members.
Exactly.
We see this in the way that the team rallies around each other, offering support and encouragement during difficult times, like when one of the players is struggling with a personal crisis and the entire team shows up for him, offering words of comfort and practical assistance.
It's a reminder that we're not meant to go through life alone, that we need each other to navigate all the ups and downs. And it's in those moments of shared vulnerability, of mutual support, that we find our true strength and our sense of belonging.
And that sense of community extends beyond the team itself. It encompasses the entire town, the fans who've supported the club through thick and thin.
I love that.
Remember that scene where the team is down by like a huge margin and the crowd starts chanting, "Never give up, never give up"?
Oh, chill.
It gives you chills.
Literally, it's so powerful. It just speaks to the unifying power of sports.
It does.
The way it can bring people together, transcending their differences and creating the shared sense of purpose.
And it's a reminder that even in the face of defeat, there's beauty in the struggle, in the unwavering support of a community that believes in you. And that belief, that sense of shared purpose, is ultimately what drives the team to achieve the seemingly impossible. They might not always win on the scoreboard, but they win in ways that matter more, in the growth they experience, the connections they forge. and the impact they have on each other and the community around them.
It's a good reminder that success isn't always about trophies and accolades. It's about the journey, the lessons learned, and the people who share that journey with you. And it's about the courage to be kind, to believe in the good, and to never give up on yourself or the people you love.
It's like it transcends sports. You know?
It really does.
It's a story about life, about all the challenges that we face and how we find meaning and connection through it all.
Yeah, and like how we can kind of come out on the other side of those challenges.
Exactly.
And still be okay.
It's a reminder that even when things are tough, when we feel lost or alone, there's always that possibility of redemption, of finding our way back to ourselves and to each other.
Totally.
And it all comes back to that theme of kindness. You know, this idea that even small acts of compassion can have this ripple effect, creating a more positive and hopeful world.
Absolutely. It's like he says, doing the right thing is never the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's such a simple message, but so powerful.
It is.
And it really makes you think about the choices that we make every day and the impact those choices have on ourselves and others.
And it's not always easy to be kind, especially when we're dealing with our own struggles, our own frustrations.
Right.
But I think the show kind of highlights that. In those moments when we're tempted to lash out or withdraw, that's when kindness really matters most.
It's about choosing empathy over judgment and forgiveness over resentment, connection over isolation. And it's recognizing that, like, we're all in this together, and even the people who seem so different from us are more alike than we realize.
And that's what makes the ending so satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
It's not this fairy tale ending where all the problems disappear.
No.
But it's hopeful. It suggests that even with adversity, we can find a way to move forward with grace and compassion.
It leaves you feeling really good.
It does.
Like you can go out and be a better person.
And it's a reminder that even though the show is over, those conversations it sparked, the themes it explored, can stay with us long after the credits have rolled.
That's the mark of a good show, right?
It is.
Something that stays with you.
Because at the end of the day, the show's message isn't just about a quirky coach and a struggling soccer team.
Right.
It's about human connection, the power of kindness and compassion, and the belief that even when things feel dark and cynical, there's always light to be found, always hope to be kindled.
I love that.
So if you haven't watched this show, we highly recommend it. It's heartwarming, hilarious, and hopeful, and it will stay with you long after you finish watching it.
Definitely check it out.
And be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful and entertaining TV recaps.
We will be back next week to dive deep into another one of your favorite shows.
Until then,
Happy watching,